Hello and welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Luke Melby, and I'm joined by...
Braden Walter.
Michael Staley.
And Braden Becker.
That is right. We have Asian Audio Man as a guest speaker today, and he is going to be taking the place of Ben Kincaid, who is now the Caucasian Audio Man.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben wasn't allowed to go see Joker, so Michael's
Rest in peace.
filling in for him.
Fallen soldier.
Rip.
Pay respects.
All right, so we're just going to give a brief outline of this episode. So we're first going to talk about Martin Scorsese and the talk with him and Marvel. Then we're going to give a brief no-spoiler type impressions of Joker, and then we're just going to jump into the spoilers for that. So before we start, we're just going to give you a brief outline of the Joker movie.
All right, so this for Joker, the setting is Gotham, and
It's set in the, early 1990s. I think
Yeah.
No, it's set in
I saw
1981.
1993.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
thought
I
it was
saw
93.
81.
I saw 93.
80s or 90s?
Yeah,
I meant to look that up, but I forgot.
late
Um,
1900s.
So the main character is Arthur Fleck, who is played by Joaquin Phoenix, who is also Joker, but that's Joker's actual name.
Yeah, he actually has a real name in this.
Yeah, and yeah,
There's Robert De Niro plays, what was the guy's name?
I think that
Murray
was-
Franklin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Murray, who's like a late night TV show host, like Jimmy Fallon, or
Mhm.
Jimmy Fallon's the only late night TV show host that I can think of
Conan
off
O'Brien.
the top of my head. Or yeah, Conan O'Brien. It's got, what's her name, Michael?
Zazie Beetz.
Yeah, the lady that played Domino in Deadpool 2. I think that's about it. It's
yeah,
pretty.
all the
It's really the
main-
Joaquin Phoenix show, and everybody else is kind of a side character.
more or less, yeah. Joaquin Phoenix is in 90% of the movie.
I mean, it's his movie.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly
But,
can't
yeah.
think of a single
There's
sequence without him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but before we get into that, do we want to talk about Martin Scorsese and
Yeah.
the drama behind that?
Let's do it.
So I'll just give you guys a debrief on the situation. So, in an interview with the Empire magazine, this is from Variety News, Martin Scorsese gave the Marvel Cinematic Universe the cold shoulder, comparing them to theme parks, and he says, quote, "I don't see them. I tried, but that's not cinema," close quote. So, yeah,
I'll tell you what that is.
it
Bullshit.
Wait,
it
okay.
seems as though, oh, yes.
Okay, why is he coming at Marvel just out of the blue?
I think
Just
that they were asking him about Marvel, and
Because he's
Oh,
jealous
okay.
that they make more money than him
Okay.
by a lot.
Okay, it seems like Braden has some things to say about that, so
I have a
if
lot
you
of
want to
things
jump
to
into
say.
that.
the Marvel fanatic over here.
It plays in a theater. It's cinema.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
How is it not? Just because it's about people who can fly and
And what qualifies
make
as
giant metal suits. Exactly.
Yeah, what qualifies
Does
as
it have to be
cinema?
about gangs in New York to be cinema? No.
I mean, I don't know. To be fair to him, I mean, what Martin Scorsese grew up with, I think that's very different from what we're growing up
Yes.
with. So what's not cinema to him is cinema to us,
I think there's.
you know?
I don't think that's even an argument though. Is the not cinema? Like
Yeah.
cinema is
Because I mean,
big movies that get widely released in theaters. Like look up the definition of cinema.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
think for him to say it's not the same style of cinema, that's a fair point. It's very different. The overall style of cinema nowadays is very different from what it used to be, because we've got big blockbuster, massive action movies and lots of green screens. That just completely threw my train of thought off. But to say that it's not cinema is a bit far, I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's fair. And so I looked up the definition, and the one that the cinema that he's talking about is the production of movies as an art or industry. So I think that what Martin Scorsese, he's looking at it as more of, like the artistic value of it. I think that that's what he's going for, and while I don't agree, I can understand.
I can
why he
understand
thinks
where
that.
he's coming from, but I don't agree with it in the slightest, and I think he's dead wrong. But I can see where he's coming from as Iron Man flying around blowing up a bunch of terrorists isn't artistic like necessarily an artistic movie.
You also got to think about it's like 2019 now, almost 2020. Like things will change obviously over time.
Yeah, exactly.
With movies, animation, anything that it doesn't all stay the same.
They can make like fully CG sequences and characters now. Like the one that sticks in my head is the shot from Infinity War when Tony first taps his chest and like does his jacket thing when you first see the like nano suit. Mm-hmm. That entire shot was CG. That wasn't even actually Robert Downey Jr. That was entirely CGI, and it looked completely photoreal. 20 years ago, they didn't have that, so they couldn't do as much. Yeah. Now that they have that, what you can do with cinema, even just sitting in your basement, has expanded by a lot.
I mean, his new movie, The Irishman, has de-aging in it. Like a ton of de-aging in it.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I've heard that it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I feel like this might just be me, but I feel like all like people who try to get into, or a lot of people who try to get into film, they end up for a certain time in their life. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of us end up kind of getting into that trap of, oh, the Marvel movies aren't like real film. I prefer movies like Taxi Driver and Blade Runner. And I've been through that phase. I feel like most people who try and get into film go through that phase because the big people like Martin Scorsese are saying, oh, that's not real cinema. I don't know about you guys, but like I've been through that phase where like I didn't enjoy Marvel movies. Well, I did enjoy them, but like it's like I didn't enjoy them because they're not real movies. They're not films. And I think that's really like, it's just kind of a stuck-up point of view. And I feel like a lot of people in the film community should be a lot more open-minded because the film community is full of a bunch of stuck-up people, being completely honest with myself.
The Oscar.
The Oscars.
Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat.
Who's Oscar?
Isaac? Phenomenal.
Sesame Street.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. As a large amount of the film community definitely has like almost a prejudice, if you will, against just superhero movies, entertainment as a whole, just seeing it as like beneath them. But what they don't realize is whether they consider it artistic or not, Avengers Endgame made more money than any other movie ever in history. So, I mean,
true.
like...
Yeah.
Pull your head out of your butts, guys.
But hopefully with, like, the rise of movies like what we're talking about today, Joker, more artistic superhero movies, I think we'll probably see a much larger increase in, like, the support from the film community.
I think we're definitely going to see a lot more of things like that from DC, especially because Marvel has found their stride, like... Marvel knows what they need to make, and they know people are going to buy tickets, and they know people are going to like it. Yeah. DC hasn't really found that yet, but I think with Joker, they really hit it with the much more realistic, kind of like grounded, where you think, wow, okay, I could see this happening tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we're going to get more of that from DC with some of their more grounded characters. Like, obviously, we're not going to get a Wonder Woman movie like that because we've already gotten a good Wonder Woman movie. The
Nolan Batman trilogy was like that too.
Which is why it was really so good. And
they started to derail like when they try to make it a whole universe like the MCU though.
And the thing with DC is I think they've really started to hone in on like their audience and what their audience likes, and I've noticed that they've been giving a lot more like movies, and they've been just giving so much creative freedom to all of the people working on it, like who did James Wan, I believe, did Aquaman. He's a horror director, and he made a really good movie.
Wow. He nailed Aquaman. I really enjoyed Aquaman.
David F. Sandberg with Shazam, like they've really kind of found their niche of like getting the indie people to make their own big blockbusters, and it's been shown time and time again to work.
Their thing is like, they were trying to be too much like Marvel, like how you were saying earlier,
definitely.
With making a whole like universe. They need to just take things from that and just have one-off things like they did with Joker, Aquaman, etc.
Yeah,
instead of making a whole universe.
Yeah, what they did, pretty much from the get-go, they had Man of Steel, which they made, which was, I mean, Man of Steel was not bad. I would not say Man of Steel was a bad movie by any means.
Was their best movie in that like weird
in the DC
phase.
extended universe phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
it
then-
still wasn't a big thing yet.
Yeah, and then they
comparatively.
they just sort of rushed it. Like they had Batman versus Superman, introduced Batman and Wonder Woman and Lex Luthor, and they did Doomsday, and then Justice League. Like Justice League was the third movie in the universe, and it was the team up movie. Marvel had like 6 movies before Avengers actually came out.
And a lot of the things that they were banking on with those movies it wasn't very like story based. It was more or less like, oh, look at this cool fight scene.
Yeah,
against
exactly.
These 2 superheroes. It was like,
And I mean,
that's fine, but you need a good story as well.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, I tried rewatching Justice League like 2 weeks ago, and I just couldn't. Man, that movie is boring.
Yeah.
Like, it's not very interesting, and especially like the end. I had no idea what was going. I still have no idea what happened at the end of Justice League. It was a bunch of weird colored things coming out of the ground. It looked like one of those like blue like bubbles from like Fortnite, and just a bunch of crap like they gave the CGI computers like laxatives, and they just like dumped all over the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like shoot, I forget what I was gonna say.
And especially like this is coming from someone who it is not very hard to please, especially with like superhero movies.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and now I remember. The thing with DC is like their movies, that's not the comics. The comics, if you read their comics, like they're all about the story of the characters and stuff. Like I've been reading the new Flash Rebirth comics, and they're 90% of them is like the story of Flash and like it's more of the story of Barry Allen and how he like progresses as a person, how he keeps on learning. Yeah.
Definitely. I think as much as I love Marvel movies and some Marvel characters, I would definitely say on the whole, DC's characters are better than Marvel's characters. They've got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman,
The Flash.
Green Arrow's my favorite character ever, so and he's DC. The Flash. Like most people, even if you don't read comics, watch superhero movies, if you walk up to them and say, "Draw me a picture of Superman," they know who Superman is. So I think that's what DC needs to focus more on, is making individual character-based movies based around one character like they did with Joker, and give that character a lot of screen time rather than trying to build themselves up a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Exactly.
Because they've tried already and they're just not going to be able to.
They butchered it.
If they focus on doing individual character-based things, and they can tie some of them together. Like if they make
to an extent.
I don't know about tying Joker together, but if they made like a Flash movie and like necessarily, I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling here, but they can start making things and then tie them together afterwards. Kind of like the CW brought the 90s era Flash TV show into their little universe.
And now they're going to have like Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Yeah, they're doing Crisis on Infinite Earth.
That's going to be
so
really
excited
cool.
For that, man. They're bringing back some of the Smallville people. Brandon Routh is coming back as Superman.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I
so
just saw the
that.
season finale of I think season 5 of The Flash last
I haven't
night.
seen that
so
yet.
I'm
Season
excited.
6 started on Wednesday.
Yeah, I started watching the first episode and there's weird audio stuff, so I'm gonna watch season 6. But
Arrow comes
I'm
back
really
next
excited.
week, and I'm like giddy with excitement at this
boy.
point.
I watched the first 2 episodes of Supergirl and then stopped after that.
Yeah, Supergirl season.
I think I watched one episode. And I was
Supergirl was bad.
Supergirl. I got about halfway through Supergirl season 1, and then I stopped.
Me
and then
too.
I saw that Lex Luthor was going to be in season 4. So I just kind of looked it up, like what the important episodes were, and I watched like 3 of them, and then just watched the episodes with Lex Luthor in it, which, by the way, those were good. Those were good episodes. Like, John Cryer is so good as Lex Luthor, and he's coming back for Crisis on Infinite Earths as well.
Not gonna
I'm
lie,
excited.
my main draw for Supergirl was that actress.
Oh,
who
dude.
plays
Melissa
her.
Benoist is unbelievably hot.
She's so
Dude,
attractive.
it's insane. She got a new suit, actually, in the new season. She's
Yeah,
got like
she
a
has
nanotech
pants.
suit, and she has pants now. I think the new suit is more flattering than the skirt and boots.
Okay. All right, guys. So, do you want to get into Joker now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get into spoilers? Should we?
Oh, of course.
I think,
All right.
well,
Spoiler
let's-
warning.
Well,
Or-
I think we can do. Let's go a little bit without
Well,
yeah,
spoilers.
I
and
agree.
we'll give a spoiler warning.
I have some
when
things that I want to
appropriate.
hit that won't give us spoilers.
All right,
now.
let's go into those right now.
Okay, so first of all, I want to start this off saying, so when this movie was like launching, it was either like the FBI or like police literally came out and was like, oh, all the showings are gonna get shot up. Like there's
What?
like,
Really?
yeah,
I
It was-
remember.
it was
I
'cause,
remember
like,
it
the-
was because of the Dark Knight Rises.
The Dark
thing, where
Knight
someone
Rises.
shot up a theater, a showing of the Dark Knight Rises, and claimed
Yeah.
that they were like the real life Joker.
yeah, and so there was a lot of controversy.
Controversy.
Yes, thank you. Around the around Joker, because they think it would spawn copycats of Joker and would affect the real world. But you gotta think, like Gotham compared to the real world, like Gotham is a fictional place designed to be horrible, so
Yeah.
bad that the only way to make it better is that they need a superhero, and so.
No, a hero. Batman doesn't have powers.
Well, yes, a hero, superhero,
Okay,
whatever.
I
Braden.
mean, he's even debatable at times if he's a good guy.
Like in the like drastic differences from like anywhere in the world to Gotham. It's like
Definitely.
I could see how it could spawn copycats, but at the same time, after seeing the movie and just like reading about it, watching it, and I think if anything, it'll do the opposite.
I think. I don't think there should have been a worry about it spawning
Yeah.
copycats necessarily
definitely.
because, like, that stuff happens anyway without the Joker movie being released. And I mean, the Joker's a comic book supervillain. That's like making a movie with a villain and saying, okay, well, we can't have this because it might inspire someone else to go raid an armored car convoy and steal military weapons.
Yeah, it all
It's
depends.
not like I can kind of see where it's coming from, but I think at the same time, everyone was making kind of a huge fuss about it when they really
Yeah.
didn't need to.
The media just took it and ran with
But
it.
that's what the
They
media.
needed a
That's
story
what the
and
media
they-
does.
yeah.
Is because they need attention, and whether it's good attention or bad attention, clicks on
Mhm.
their website still makes them money.
I mean, it all depends on like your interpretation of the movie too.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
if you're crazy and you think, and you go into the movie, then you're gonna think, wow, Joker's a good person. But at that point, like,
You're already gone.
Yeah.
Because my thing with that is, it shows, because people were saying, oh, it's gonna spawn copycats, all this. If anything, it shows what not to do, like what isn't the answer,
Yeah.
like, and not the worst case scenario. Like the worst case scenario would be what happened in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus, it doesn't even glorify it. It just
And
kind of
yeah, it
shows.
does-
it.
yeah.
It's
It
not
does-
saying that it's a good
it-
thing.
Yeah.
It does the complete opposite, because it shows all the build up to him becoming Joker.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, when he's Joker, that everything kind of pops off. But everything
Mhm.
coming up to that, you just feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like-
then there's
Oh,
a certain
yeah.
point when you're like, all right, I can't
I
root
don't-
for this guy anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but like every time somebody died in that movie, like I felt that, like
Oh,
It was
yeah.
it
wrong.
was
Uh-huh.
the movie made you know that what he
Oh,
was
yeah.
doing was not right.
Uh-huh.
It made you feel like you were there, like you weren't just
Oh,
watching
yeah,
it. It was so
definitely.
much more,
Yeah.
especially in IMAX.
Yeah.
The unbelievably loud
Yeah.
noises.
I love IMAX.
Man, yeah, IMAX is
Like it made every time he kills somebody. Like for me, I just felt like so icky and
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Like literally
Yeah.
every time it happened, I just turned to Brady and I was like, "Well, that took a turn."
I,
was like,
I predicted
like,
like most of
Yeah,
the
Like
deaths.
I felt like I needed a shower after he
the
killed me.
energy,
I
when
did.
someone
Yeah.
died, the energy in the room just like shifted.
Yeah, you could feel
Yeah.
it.
Like,
in
it
the
was-
theater.
I don't
Which-
know. It was a whole.
That's when you know that it's a good movie, when
Yeah,
you really
definitely.
feel
Yeah.
it like that. And especially
Dude,
before we get into spoilers or whatever, I want to the use of music in
Oh
this
my
was
gosh.
very good.
Sound
It's not like the Avengers where it's you can remember like a Joker theme song, bah, 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 or whatever.
Yeah.
But like there were a lot of scenes that there was either no music or minimal music,
And
and it really helped with like
Yeah.
the overall tone and everything.
And
was
it wasn't just
very
like-
well done.
It wasn't just like in a horror where it's just like, "Arr!" like
Yeah.
this horrible
Uh-uh.
noise in your ears.
No, yeah,
I mean that works. Like it does good, but like
it works for the genre that it's in.
yeah, definitely. But like so it wasn't just that. It was actually like music that added to it.
Yes.
It raises the tension.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the kind of music where when you're watching it, you don't notice that there's music there. Like in the Avengers, that's half of what you're paying attention to.
Yeah.
It's like the score, because I mean it is so good. But with Joker, it's not overpowering, but if it wasn't there, it would feel weird.
Yeah,
which
it
is like the
enhances
best
it.
kind.
It would lose a lot if
It would.
it wasn't
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And one thing that because my brother saw it with us, and so on the way home, one thing that we were talking about is he noticed that whenever you had the character Arthur Fleck, who then later became Joker, but at the start of the movie, Arthur Fleck and Joker were two completely different people. Like they were almost like two separate personalities, and you could see him kind of slowly going in, and then they form into one personality, which is Joker.
Yeah.
So whenever you were following Arthur Fleck around, whenever he did Joker-like things, where he stalked the one girl and what?
That's
Should
not a
we
major
just-
plot point.
Yeah.
I don't think.
No, that's fine. But and like whenever he did Joker-like things or he had Joker-like tendencies, all the shots his face was either you couldn't see his face or his face was like very hidden. So like there was one where it was like when he was stalking, they were all
Shot from behind.
Yeah,
and
they
he
were
had his
behind
hood
him.
on.
He had his hood on, or like his hair would be in his face, or they'd be from his side and there'd be a shadow on his face, but you could never see his whole face. And I don't know if that was just like a coincidence or whatever. I'd have to rewatch it to really make sure that's true. But for what we saw, it seemed like they never actually showed his full face when he was doing Joker-like tendencies until he like fully switched over to being Joker.
Yeah, definitely. Now that you say that, that makes complete total
Yeah.
sense.
You notice it now
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah,
Now,
now
if I went and rewatched it now, I'd definitely pick up on that, because
Yeah.
just from what I can remember, because it has been 3 days since we
Yeah.
saw it.
Mhm.
From what I can remember, that definitely holds
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
Do we just want to jump into spoilers
Yeah,
now?
so
let's
we're
do
gonna-
it. All right, so
Spoiler alert!
Um.
Boop, 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 boop. Alarm.
Okay, can I just say something really quick? This
Yeah.
kind of has to do with the other things, but it is a spoiler. So, I went through it in my head, and I calculated the amount of people that Joker kills in this movie. And the on-screen kills in this movie are 6 people, and most of them are shown, like, with just his face, rather than, like, the actual people dying. And so I was watching Mission Impossible Fallout a few days ago, and Tom Cruise, I'm just going to say on-screen deaths. There are more on-screen deaths. There are over 6 on-screen deaths in the movie. And not only that, but
In
2 of them
Mission
are
Impossible?
in Mission Impossible Fallout. 2 of them are like pretty brutal, like the one
Like
guy
when
with
he
the
gets
hook,
the hook in the
the
face.
hook in the
So-
face.
They don't
or
show it fully, like
Yeah.
blood just, because
Yeah.
in real life his head would
Yeah.
explode.
or when the one guy gets shot and you can see like the huge blood puddle on the
Yeah.
bottom.
Uh-huh.
Like I don't know, that was just
Yeah,
it. I was just saying
yeah.
that because
Yeah, definitely. I
it
think
kind of proves our point.
yeah, because like, I mean, I don't know if it's really necessarily about like quantity as much, rather than like the way he does it.
Quality.
Because like I mean, when Ethan Hunt kills someone, usually they don't show it. Usually he just kind of like shoots them, which is just kind of standard nowadays in
Yeah.
like action movies. Like people get shot in movies all the time. It's not a huge deal. Just they don't always show like when when Murray Franklin dies in this, you see the bullet hole in
Yeah.
his forehead and like
It just
blood
feels so
all
much-
over the back of the wall.
There's
When Tom Cruise kills people in Mission Impossible, he like snaps their neck or
Yeah.
something, or
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
fair.
and it just kind of goes
there's
off.
there's only 6 deaths, but all the deaths they're noticeable.
Yes.
Like it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
just like, oh, we just killed someone. Like, oh, it's whatever. It's like it's a whole thing.
And
Right?
It's
Yeah.
like,
There
he just
If they feel like a big deal.
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
there are 2
even
that
without
like
here, sorry to cut you off, but even without an emotional attachment to the character
Yeah.
that he's killing, but it feels like it was so much bigger than it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can go now.
oh no, I'm just saying there are 2 that like I think were implied. I don't know about you guys, but like So the two that I thought might have been implied was the one girl when he's in her house and she's like, what are you doing in my house? I think I saw on like Jeremy Johns or whatever his YouTube channel. He said that like he heard sirens after he was back in his house. So that could have been like an implied death. And then another implied death is at the end when he's walking with the bloody footprints.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So so when he, okay, I'm gonna wait to talk about that. But
Okay.
hold on, okay. So, and one thing that I noticed, they didn't go with like the regular stories of Joker's like
Origins.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's
Joker's
very different.
origins. Like the comics, Joker fell in a vat of acid and then became Joker.
Yeah.
Dark Knight, there was the cut smile from his father, like, oh, my father with a knife, and all that junk.
That was actually a really good impression.
But
My father.
and then so this Joker in 2019 was just.
I'm sorry, Luke's over here licking his lips like
My
Ledger
father,
does in The
he
Dark
was
Knight.
a drinker.
My father.
Where is she?
My father was a drinker.
Okay.
My
father got shot in it.
But
The Caucasian audio man is loving this audio right now.
But and then so 2019 Joker wasn't the cut smile, which I thought they would do the cut smile.
I didn't.
I was surprised they didn't do that.
Really?
But it was just the worst possible upbringing, the worst possible
Yeah.
circumstances, living in Gotham and just what's going on in his life.
Finding out he's adopted at like
Yeah.
40 years old after he's been living with his mom. His
It's a whole
mom
thing,
in quotation marks that you guys can't
which
see.
is just a crazy
Entire
lady,
life.
pretty much.
Oh yeah, that really hit me. Okay, that kind of goes into this point that I have. Everyone in this room, raise your hand. I'll tell everyone on the podcast, but raise your hand if at one point in the movie something happened to Arthur that like you related to, or you were like, dang.
Oh, I
Yeah.
gotta think about this
Yeah.
for a second.
Well, obviously
There
me,
was-
because I'm adopted. I'm just
I knew that was coming.
Thanks,
I
Asian
gotta
audio
think about
man.
it for a second.
Michael.
Like,
Cause like the fact that
Oh yeah, you can go.
it's just the Joker's whole the Joker's whole philosophy is like it takes one bad day to like change someone into him, and like just the fact that everything that happened to him, like it's obviously heightened, but the fact that everyone can kind of relate to it, I think that's what really made people like so triggered, for lack of a better word, by this movie, is because it's so relatable.
Yeah.
And we've all like been there at one point or another, and that like is a scary thought that like just the thought like how society treats other people. We live in a society.
We live in a society.
And how Joker was treated, and it's just a scary thought.
Yeah, and it wasn't like they related to you, but like with very minimal things. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm being bullied in school, like
I don't
every
know,
other
yeah.
movie or
I
whatever.
I wouldn't say I necessarily related to it. I just
Well,
felt
no.
really bad for the guy.
Well, it was little things like it was like I don't know, his coworkers don't like him. They think he's weird or whatever. It was very small things.
Except for the
Yeah.
midget.
Yes, yeah, the midget was cool. Shout out midget.
He fell
The
for
midget
that
was cool,
one
yeah.
girl just because she was nice to him.
Yeah.
I feel like every male has done this at one point or not in their
No.
life. You've never
I've never
fallen
had
for a
that.
girl
That's
just because
true.
she was nice to
No.
you.
That's 'cause
Okay.
You're a
Well,
sad little man.
She wasn't even necessarily nice to him. She just talked to him.
Yeah,
that
she
was
Yeah.
weird.
noticed
Yeah,
him.
it was.
I
It
think
was a simple
she was
thing.
like the
and then
only
all-
person that
she
noticed
noticed
him.
that he existed, unlike
Yeah.
most other people in that movie. That was like the main thing that I take away from that movie was the whole thing is he becomes Joker because people start to notice that he's there
Yeah.
rather than just walking by him or beating him up with his own sign.
But
And
they noticed him after he does bad
And
things,
even
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
even
And that-
when
that's
he's
his
going
whole-
to
That's he wanted to be noticed. That's why.
even when he's going to jail, he's still legitimately happy, not necessarily because
Yeah.
he's insane, even though he is, but because even though it's terrible things happening, people are
He's-
actually
yeah.
noticing that he's there and like kind of rallying around him.
Mhm.
After
Like when
40
the
years
guys
of
pull
not
him
being
out of the
there.
police car.
Yeah.
Joker makes me want to be a better person. Gosh darn
Yeah,
it,
exactly.
stupid movie.
And it was like this comes back to the circumstances of Joker's life or Arthur Fleck's life, but like not only was he living in Gotham where it was just like a horrible place with like trash everywhere and there was like extreme wealth and extreme poverty, so it was like the city was basically split, but it was just like people were just mean. Like there was so much stuff going on with like, and it was all of that just compiled down, and it just broke him, and then now he's
and
Joker.
I mean he had a rough go at it as well. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
I mean and just
he was working
circumstances with his mother and all.
He was working a job that didn't pay a ton of money. Like as a clown, he had to take care of his mom. He had to get his medicine. He also was going to like therapy and stuff.
He got made fun of. The talk show that he loved.
He drops his gun at the stupid hospital.
The children's hospital.
Gosh darn
his gun
it.
falls
You're
out.
happy
You know?
when you know it.
And then he gets fired, dude. I can't figure out why on earth they'd fire someone for dropping their gun around a bunch of sick kids.
And you know, it took me a second to realize that was a joke. I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "There's no way."
Wow, is your opinion of me that low?
I was like, he's got to be joking. It took me a second. They just looked at me. He's like, "Oh, he's joking." It took me a second. I was just like, "What?"
They don't put that in the fine print when you apply for a job.
No pistols at Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
But
I'm just thinking about some dude like you know how the Avengers will go to the children's hospitals. Some dude dressed as like Spider-Man will just like just spray the kids with like red fluid or something.
And another thing, so Joaquin Phoenix,
was amazing in this.
Yes, okay, he's an amazing actor. He played. So for those of you who don't know, for people who've seen Gladiator. I forgot when that movie came out. It's pretty old, but he played
was the villain, right?
He played Caesar in Gladiator.
I think it came out 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, this is the first thing I have seen him in.
Yeah. So, and I didn't know he was Caesar in Gladiator. So, but if you haven't seen Gladiator, I would 100% recommend it. It's an amazing movie.
Also, Joaquin Phoenix is amazing in her.
Okay.
It came out 2013.
Yeah. But yeah, and so Joaquin Phoenix is very good at just being like creepy and evil and maniacal. Like it's like his role with Caesar was amazing. Not to mention like this role in Joker, and he lost like 52 pounds for Joker.
Yeah, dude,
like,
he was a stick insect in this.
Yeah, like literally you could like see all of his bones.
It was hard to look at.
Yeah, and it was like I tried figuring it out, but I for the life of me could not find what his original weight was dropping to where he is now.
Well, he's not there now.
Where he was for Joker.
I think he gained his weight.
Yeah, he did
back. Because I saw a clip of him on like Jimmy Fallon. Scrolling
same.
through Instagram or whatever.
But he's a beefy boy.
I mean, he's
he's
not like fat. He's not. He's not like super
he's
skinny.
not fat, but he's just like a big guy in general.
He's
Like, and to see him post Joker to being in Joker was like completely different person.
Well, especially because he keeps a large beard.
Well, yes, but but yeah.
It was.
Joker was so good.
Also, another movie that he's phenomenal in is The Master. Just dropping another movie.
All right.
The Master and Her.
But
do you guys want to talk about that ending? Because I don't know about you guys. Yeah. Was what he was thinking about was the joke like that none of that ever happened, or was it that like that he got taken? Okay. Yes, or like
I had this in my notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry to like cut you off. Okay.
No, go at it.
So at the end, all this like crazy stuff happens. He shoots Murray in the head, just completely demolishes
live on the air.
Poor man. Yeah, live on air.
Yeah.
And then he gets, and so people were already kind of rallying around him, and him like doing the like murdering people on live TV. That was really what sent everything into a spiral. So it was from people kind of rallying him, and it was like people wearing clown masks. It wasn't anything big. It was like protests or whatever. But then after that happened, Gotham just went to chaos, where it was like people in the streets just like
Riots
robbing places,
everywhere.
rioting everywhere, cars on fire, and so the final scene is him like going. He's in the cop car he's leaving the Murray show, and he's in the cop car, and you're seeing all this stuff happening around him.
And then the cop car gets slammed by a clown in an ambulance.
Yes, and so they drag him out of the cop car and
put him on the hood.
Yeah, they put him on the hood, and it shows him like dancing on the hood with everyone around him cheering for him and everything.
Dude, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
But from that, it goes into he's in an insane asylum, or a mental hospital.
Hold on. I'm gonna just kind of insert here chronologically. During the scene of the riots, we see Thomas Wayne, who is a relatively large presence in this movie. He doesn't have a ton of screen time, but his presence is there.
Definitely.
He is a big part of this movie, not necessarily physically, but kind of implied. But you see Thomas and Martha Wayne running out of the theater with young Bruce Wayne, who was
being shot up from the riots.
Yeah.
And so
young Bruce Wayne, who's about 10 years old in this, it looks like. Don't know how, if they do a sequel, they would have Batman and Joker, because Joker would be like 70 by the time.
I think they said they wouldn't have Batman.
Oh, really?
Oh,
anyway, so you see,
I wanted to see that.
You see, the Wayne parents die
Get murdered in the
as
alley.
a result of the Joker riot. So Joker,
from
Joker
the,
has an
the
actual
kill on live
tie to Batman's origin.
Yeah.
In
How
this
about
universe, which I think is really cool.
Also, I believe the person who killed the Waynes was the same guy from earlier in the movie before Joker became Joker. Like when he's on the street and he sees this car drive by and he like sees this guy in a clown mask and he smiles. I think it was that same guy.
It might be. I'd have to watch the movie again.
Yeah, no. I didn't think it would tie into like having Batman like backstory of how like his parents got murdered, but they did that. That wasn't a main part of the movie, but it was there. Like you were saying, the presence was there, and they did it so well. Like and they had this whole bit where it was like Joker thought his biological father was
Thomas Wayne.
Thomas Wayne, thank you. And it turned out his mother was just crazy, and it was like this whole thing. So he went to Wayne Manor and like literally talked to Bruce as a child, and like did like
magic for him,
magic
gave
for
him like
him.
flowers.
It was like it was a whole thing, and it was just like and it clicked in your mind because it was like this little boy, black hair, in this like huge gate, obviously a very expensive house, and it was like. And it clicked. I was like, "Is that?"
I thought Bruce Wayne from the first shot we saw the child, because I leaned over to Brady and I said, "That's Bruce Wayne."
Yeah.
Like the second shot of the little kid. I was like, "Yeah, that's."
But
I mean,
Bruce
who
Wayne.
else would it be?
Yeah, exactly. Some random little kid in a massive mansion with black hair.
But so I wasn't expecting that at all, and then I was like, "Oh my god!" Like that's it's Bruce Wayne, and then it goes into the riots, and then his parents dying, and it leaves him with it in the alleyway with his parents next to him. Anyway, back to the main thing we're talking about. So it goes to Joker in a mental asylum, no makeup on or anything, and they're like interviewing him, and he starts laughing. He's like, "Oh, what are you laughing about?" And so this is where what Luke was talking about comes in. Was the riot and everything, was that all something he thought of in his mind? Like, listen, Brayden is giving me a weird face here. So, or did that happen? Because my thing is, why would you ask the Joker if why would you ask the Joker why he's laughing? Like, and you gotta think, he was like, "Oh, I was thinking of a joke I said." And it's like, if he's in an insane asylum, obviously they know like who he is and stuff like that. And he was like, "Oh, he's thinking of a joke." He was thinking about all that mayhem happening. But my thing is, if that was the case, how would we have seen the
Waynes die?
Yeah, the Waynes die.
I don't think
because
he
didn't see that. He didn't see that.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the case. I think it was exactly that. I think it was either his. By the way, we haven't mentioned this at all. In this movie, Arthur Fleck has a condition where he randomly just kind of busts out into laughter, which I thought was a genius idea for the Joker.
I believe it's called the pseudobulbar.
Yeah, it's a real condition.
But it explains why he laughs so much.
Yeah, and
which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and that's also how a a lot of the deaths happen. Like it's like the very first death. There's 3 deaths where these clearly drunk men, like, who are
Wayne employees.
Yeah, Wayne employees seem pretty
going
wealthy.
for a lady.
Yeah, they're going for a lady, and they're like bugging her and like throwing like
on the
fries
subway.
at her
He
on
just
the
starts
subway.
cracking up.
Yeah, and so he laughs no matter his emotion, so he could be sad and just like laughing his ass off. And so he starts laughing, and then so the attention gets directed from the woman to him, and then they start beating up on him.
Then he kills all 3 of them.
Yeah, and then he uses the pistol that his coworker gave him to protect himself, and then kills all of them. And that's how
he feels good afterwards, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
And
the first time he
yeah.
ever felt any sort of control or power.
And that's what kind of sets the movie into motion, because
definitely.
his subway killings, then the newspaper or whatever had like a sketch of his clown mask, because he was in his clown makeup when he did this.
Because you're getting
And
off
then
of work.
Everybody was making these clown masks, and it inspired all of these protests.
Because
of,
it was
Thomas
all
Wayne and stuff.
Yeah, it was all the people in poverty against the wealthy. So the poor were using it as like, oh, this is like
kind of rallying.
Yeah, they were
behind it,
rallying behind the clown, because Wayne called. It was either Wayne or Murray. I think it was Wayne.
It was Wayne.
Yeah, it was Wayne originally called like the poor clowns.
Yeah.
At some point, like in an interview.
Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, and so they were using that to rally behind it. And that's really what set everything in motion. But and one thing I noticed where it was like, it was self-defense, but it wasn't. You know,
it was self-defense until the 3rd guy.
Yeah, it was self-defense until the 3rd guy. So he like shot the one dude in the head and like shot the other dude, and one guy he ran away, but he shot him in the foot, and then Arthur chased after him and finished the job. He like literally the train stopped. They left the train. They got to the stairs, and then he kept shooting him. And
3 more times.
Yeah, and he fired off 7 shots.
He fired 7
He
shots.
fired 7 shots.
Out
and
of
there
the
were
6 shooter.
Yeah.
And we never saw him reload.
So that was bad right on their part, but I mean it's fine.
I just want to say,
slide.
after he kills those people and after he runs out, and then when he enters the public bathroom, that scene where he like dances and gets control and gains confidence, that I think that might be my favorite scene, because like you see him really. That's like the first.
He's
like
freaking out at first, and he's
it
like,
was completely improvised too.
Yeah, it was. And the score in that scene is also.
Oh yeah.
When Joker in this gets, like when Arthur gets confident about something, he dances.
Yeah.
Like when he's
Or to,
all
like,
like
calm him
high
down.
on life, he dances.
That's like the
Yeah.
Joker
What he
coming
does.
out of him.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
eventually he goes fully into Joker.
Then he's standing on top of a flaming police car with a bunch of crap burning around him and a bunch of guys in clown masks just dancing away.
Yeah. Also, so like Joker, the people that he kills, it just gets progressively less and less like redeemable for him, because when you think about it, the first people that he kill are the 3 people on the subway, and not only were they probably going to do inappropriate things to that girl, but then also they start beating him up and like kicking him, beating him to a
Yes.
pulp.
While he's on the ground.
And then
He had reason to hurt them.
It's-
Did he have reason to shoot the guy in the head? No, but he could have like shot him
yeah.
in the foot.
and then
I'll let you finish.
and then it goes to his mom, who like ruined his life and was just absolutely crazy and lied to him. And then it goes to his coworker, who like kinda lost him his job. And then Murray, who literally just made a little joke about him. So I think that it just progressively he just progressively gets more and more like okay with killing people.
I think his feelings towards Murray was building throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like it was brewing inside of him before he became
he
Joker.
loved Murray originally. Like
he
Murray
was
was his idol. He
super
watched
fan.
him all the time, every time he was on. And then when he was in the hospital with his mother, he was like, oh, here's a clip from one of the comedy shows and where he performed. And they showed his clip, and he was excited.
He was just laughing at himself because of his disease kind of kicked in.
Well, no, he was excited at first because he was like, "Oh, I'm on Murray," and then it came back, and then Murray was cracking jokes about him and stuff like that, and that
basically making fun of him.
Yeah, pretty much.
On live
TV. And
TV,
you could just see it on his face. He's just like,
he goes from like, "Oh my God, I'm on Murray," and then just like dead.
Murray, how could you do this?
Yeah,
because there was a scene earlier where Arthur was actually at a taping of the Murray Franklin show, like in the studio audience.
Oh yeah.
And he like yelled after everybody had stopped clapping, like, "I love you, Murray!" And then Murray like called him down onto the stage and stuff. And I mean, you could see that he was super happy there.
I
'cause
thought
he was
that
like,
was
oh
in
my
his
God,
head.
people can see me.
Wasn't that
Yeah,
in his
that was
head?
in his head.
Oh, that was in his head?
That
Was
was in his
that?
head, yeah.
'Cause-
Really?
Yeah.
That
I
was
could've sworn
absolutely
that
in
was-
his head.
I thought,
No, because
Yeah.
he was sitting down and then it showed the scene randomly and then it went
Yeah.
back
Well,
to him
it was in
sitting
his
Yeah.
down.
head,
It was-
but I thought it was a memory.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It was like they
Mm-mm.
had taped the episode already, and then that episode was airing, which was why they were sitting down to watch it, because he was going to be on it.
I think he was just fantasizing.
I think he was fantasizing
Yeah,
about
I
it
thought
as
it was
well.
a
I think
memory.
now that you say that, I think that makes sense.
I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like it could go
'Cause I
either
feel like they
way.
wouldn't do
It's
that.
up for
They
interpretation.
wouldn't. I think it is. Yeah, they wouldn't have the cameras kind of swing around over to the audience. They don't do that unless it's
Yeah.
the Ellen show.
I'm good.
What?
No, I was just...
Joaquin
I
Phoenix,
was just
come on
thinking
out.
about Ellen. Joaquin Phoenix, please come out of the audience. Yes, sir. Ma'am.
Wait, what? I
Yes,
was making
sir.
a joke because Ellen always surprises people
Yeah,
by
I know.
having
That's-
celebrities
I was
come out.
continuing the joke as a fool.
Um,
Also, that scene of him in the comedy club where he's like struggling to tell his joke that I felt so much secondhand. Secondhand
Smoke?
cringe? No, secondhand. you know.
Okay, yeah. So
I know.
he got up on stage to do perform his comedy set, and he was scared, so his laughter started kicking in. So it was like, and he had decent jokes, like he had decent material, but it was like they were like little kid jokes, pretty much, because it was like oh, that's kind of funny, like I understand it, but like it's not gonna make you like fall on the ground and die laughing.
Yeah, it's not like a fart joke or
Yeah.
something where I'm just gonna die of laughter.
So he goes on stage and he's scared, and then so he starts laughing, like his condition kicks in, so he starts laughing. So like the first whole like 5 seconds of it is just him laughing into the mic and then trying to say his jokes, like, oh, my mother always told me, and then like did a voice for his
Also,
mother,
when
and
he
it was
laughs, it physically hurts him too, like his
Yeah.
throat.
I felt so much embarrassment for him for that
Oh,
entire
it was
scene.
rough.
Like it was such a rough scene to watch because we've all been there where like you're trying to say something, you're telling a joke, and then things don't land, and it just
Yeah.
Plus, everybody kind of has like at least a little fear of public speaking as well in general.
oh yeah, and then
yeah, and just him as a person is just awkward and weird.
He's a creepy dude.
Yeah, he was very creepy.
yeah.
Yeah, so Joaquin Phoenix did a great
But you
job
can
with
tell
Joker.
that like
Mhm.
as Arthur, he doesn't want to be that creepy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like,
he just is.
I think they really showed that well with the scene when he's on the bus and he's just like playing peekaboo with the kid.
Yeah.
who's,
Yeah, there's
who's
a-
like looking at him, and the kid, and then
Like,
the
he's
mom
trying to be a
turns
good
around and
guy.
she's like, "Dude, stop bothering my kid."
And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and then he starts crying
Yeah.
about it, and then
Well, and then he starts laughing.
He starts crying and then laughs.
Yeah,
And then he gives the
which
condition
I mean,
card to that lady.
that was a very scummy thing to do by
Yeah.
that lady, just because I mean, yeah, like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If,
Scum-
if you're
scum-
if you're
I
gonna
feel like
sit there
everyone
with
can
a
agree
with a
with that.
scowl on your face, and your kid's looking for something to do, and the dude behind you is willing to just kind of entertain your kid. I mean, it's not like he's doing any. It's not like he said, "Hey kid, you wanna come get in my van? I've got free lollipops." He's just sitting there playing peekaboo, and the kid's laughing. Like,
yeah.
but
Yeah. And like the thing is, you can see a mom doing that.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can see
totally.
that happening, which
totally,
is
yeah,
Such
it's a
a
little
Karen
spooky.
move.
yeah. Honestly, that's
Thanks,
definitely
Karen.
a Karen thing to do.
Let me talk to your manager.
Except she wasn't of the Caucasian race.
Okay.
She had she had like the Karen haircut though,
Thanks,
right?
Asian audio man.
She had a Karen haircut though, right?
Our only racially diverse character in our podcast.
Character?
Asian audio man.
We're characters.
Person.
we were literally that meme. 4 tickets to Joker, please. When we tried to get.
Oh, we should tell. We
Honestly.
should tell that. Well, no, we shouldn't because then we'll get him.
Yeah, nothing bad
Yeah.
happened.
No, we got in legally. 'cause
I don't
we're
know
all
what
17.
Brady's talking about.
Oh. Yes.
4
Nothing happened.
tickets.
That's good. But yeah, Joker was really good. There's so much to unpack. With
I
that
liked
movie.
it more than I thought I would like it. Like I figured I'd enjoy it, but I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did.
It was everything I wanted it to be.
I
plus
felt
more.
like it was gonna be the kind of movie that would get slow at points, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It felt very raw
It
and
was-
real
Yeah,
through
definitely.
Yeah.
the whole thing. Like you
And-
felt like you were right next to him, and also the cinematography was
Oh
really
my
good.
goodness.
It was
So
so
good.
good.
Ah.
Like just the shots of him walking up the stairs,
Mhm.
and then also like the little things of like when he's doing Joker activities, or you can never
Joker
see
activities.
You say
fully see his face.
I wanted Tobey Maguire to come out when he was on the stairs dancing
To
so
get that
bad.
meme, yeah.
I
That would've been-
wanted him to just slide in and do his Spider-Man 3 dance.
No, but I think like besides the beautiful, like obvious looking shots that anyone can be like, wow, that's an impressive looking shot. It's like the little things, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
when
like where they
you
never show
feel,
his face for the
yeah,
Joker
like the
and
camera
everything.
gets so close to him,
Mhm.
and you feel like you're right next to him.
Mhm.
I think like
Yeah, you can see the little like tiny imperfections on his
And
skin
every
that
little
I can't even see
expression,
on you
too.
guys right now,
yeah,
sitting like,
like
3 feet
the
away from me.
the choice
camera
from
was
the
so good.
DP,
Yeah.
like on how close the camera needed to be was
Definitely.
Yeah.
really added. Everything just clicked together for this movie.
And so this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, whereas like he Joker, well, to start like going kind of becoming Joker, Arthur never killed anyone. Like he never just was running around just randomly killing people. There was always a reason to it.
Yeah,
Like
there's people who did.
yeah,
bad
so
to him.
like the first one was like he was being jumped by people, and so he killed him. And then there was like another one where the dude who gave him the gun came to his house and was like, the cops have been asking around, and that he was always mean to Arthur, and he was the one who gave him a gun, so that's why Arthur got fired from his job, and so he killed the guy. And
With scissors.
yes,
yeah,
with
but he
scissors.
let the other guy.
Yeah,
who
that's
was
what I was getting
go.
into.
Yeah.
So there was a midget there who also worked with
Little
him.
person.
Yeah, it's a little person.
A small
midget.
man.
Yeah, but and so he was always nice to Arthur, and so Arthur was like, "Oh no, it's fine. I'm not gonna hurt you. Like you can just leave." And like it was like nothing ever
He
happened.
wouldn't
I
just
think
kill
did-
anybody.
Yeah,
I think, yeah,
there
it-
was always.
I think that did show that there was still, even though he'd done
Humanity
some
in
terrible
him.
things, there is still some semblance of humanity in him.
Yeah.
To where if you haven't done something wrong to him, he's not just gonna randomly
yeah, he's
kill you.
not just running around just.
He's
murdering
not like the
people.
Joker from the comics or the movie or other movies where, oh, I'm gonna poison the entire city because it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He had
has this,
specific goals.
Yeah.
he has this weird, demented
Exactly.
like sense of morality
Yeah.
to himself.
And it all stems off just how he was treated and
Yeah.
the life that
Just
he was given, and just the
cast it out.
terrible place, because obviously like no one liked him, and
Also-
so getting that power as Joker and people rallying around him, that's just like
Also, he kills
field
his
of
mom.
fire. Yes, he
Yeah.
did kill his mom. Well,
yeah.
not
I think
his adoption.
Yeah,
mother,
like once he
which-
finds out
which
that she was
he,
lying
he
to him for
thought
all
his
his
mom
life.
was the entire time, until he found out later that he was adopted.
She
by
was
her.
lying to him.
even
whole life.
even
She
though
was
he's
actually just
adopted,
crazy.
I thought the point where he killed his mom was the
That was-
point
that
where
was no
I was
turn
like
back.
that he's irredeemable at
Yeah,
this point.
there's no turn
Yeah.
back at that point.
Because I mean,
Definitely.
even if she is his adopted mom, she raised him. Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
and he cared for her.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for all his life, pretty much.
I
And it was, yeah, there was a lot of like little things. Like after that point of him killing his mom, that was when he really went off the rails. Because like the girl that he was talking to after that, because he found out all this information about his mom, then killed his mom, and then he went to the girl that he was talking to, like who we had some with.
Yeah, but that was in his head though.
speaking of
That was
what?
no.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
lit-
No,
no,
no, no,
no,
no, no.
Listen, so he met the girl Zazie Beetz in the elevator. She says hi and does like the finger gun,
Mhm.
like the finger gun to
Yeah.
the head thing, and he does it back. And then he starts imagining like she's
Yeah.
going, like he imagines hanging out with her, and then
how do you have imaginary wah-wah?
like,
Now that I
he's-
think
'cause
about it,
remember,
about
like,
sex.
it
Wah-wah
goes
sex.
back. It
Yeah,
like
'cause-
goes
Wah-wah,
back into his
wah-wah.
memory, and then it
That's
reveals
the
that
noise.
it reveals that every scene that she was in with him, it reveals she wasn't
Yeah.
really there.
What?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because when he broke into her house, she was like, "Oh, you're the guy from down the hall."
Yeah, she's
right?"
like,
Yeah,
"Your
did
name's
you guys
Arthur,
not remember
right?"
that?
That's why
Oh
she
my
was
god!
Did you guys not
realizing
realize
this
that?
now.
Okay.
Dude, when that happened,
noticed.
I had so like the biggest chills.
Now
'cause
I
was
realize
like,
why I
oh
thought
my
her
god.
character
Yes.
was pointless.
I noticed.
Oh my god.
I
She
thought
kinda
that
was.
don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure another way to have seen that, to like realize that, was I'm pretty sure the numbers on her door when he goes into her house at the very end is
God,
different from when he goes
It
in.
might be.
In that one
It
scene,
might
you
be
know,
right.
where he knocks on the door, she
Yeah.
opens the door and he kisses her. I think that's different. I think those numbers are different.
Yeah, I
Don't
did
quote
think
me
it
on
was
it.
weird when like she just meets him and he's a creepy dude and then
Yeah.
like they all
Were
of a
you
sudden
following
start,
me yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then okay, let's
Yeah.
go in my room.
Let's do
Yeah,
something
let's-
about this.
Oh my god. So like
Yeah, I'm just putting this together
the-
now. That
the-
you guys said
pretty much
something.
the entire side plot was just
An
all in his
imagination
memory.
thing.
Yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure
God,
that
what?
the ending
Yeah.
in the ending it's just kind of him thinking back, like everything was in his head. That's
No,
why I think
I don't-
just because it was proven.
I don't think
I don't
it
think
was in his
everything
head, 'cause
was
that
in
would
his
ruin
head.
the movie.
I think just his
That would make the
girlfriend
movie pointless.
was in his head.
His girlfriend in the first Murray Franklin show
Yeah.
that he was at. Now that you guys
Yeah.
say that makes sense. Her being imaginary. I think the entire movie is definitely not imaginary
Mhm.
because
But parts of it are.
The
Yeah.
end is definitely up for interpretation because you could definitely say it's
Yeah.
from
I interpret the end as being real. The main reason for that is the Waynes. They
Yeah.
wouldn't include
That's
that
true.
if it was imaginary.
That is
Yeah.
inaccurate.
If it
Yeah,
was
that-
if it
that's-
was in
that's
his
my only thing.
imagination,
because
they wouldn't put that in there.
because he didn't see that the Waynes died.
Exactly.
And so
Yeah.
that's
It just
that's
happened.
that's the only thing deterring me from that's all in his imagination.
That's not the only thing. I also think
Well-
that if they did that, it would make the movie feel kind of less.
Yeah.
Whatever,
That's true.
Because it's all just a dream.
Yeah.
Like it's like the trope of a movie happens and then at the end, oh, I was dreaming the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, but Joker's whole thing is that his backstory is he said it's like a multiple choice or whatever. He said that at one point.
Yeah.
I
and
think
I forget
the joke
when.
that he's talking about at the end isn't that he imagined the whole thing. I think it's like he was going to kill the lady and she didn't know it. And then she's like, "What's funny? You won't tell me?" And he's like, "You wouldn't get it." And then right after he
Oh,
says
and then
that,
you
That's
see the bloody
true.
feet.
yeah,
Yeah,
That
I
could
think
be
the
it.
joke,
Yeah.
That's
like,
what I
that
thought.
joke was that he was going to kill her.
They cut away and then you saw bloody feet. I
Yeah.
thought he killed her and then he gets out.
Yeah, it's definitely they definitely set that up for it to be interpreted in different ways.
Yeah.
All right, so we are running out of time here, so
Yeah,
we're gonna
dude.
wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening. We're gonna do a quick rating for everyone,
Out of
what they
10?
thought of the movie out of 10. So I'll start. This is my number one movie. Over Endgame.
Of all time.
Yes, over
Wow.
Endgame. Endgame is good, but that was more
Dang.
action based as a
Dang.
story as itself.
Nothing.
10 out of 10. Number one movie
I think for me, nothing's ever gonna. Well, not nothing's ever, but nothing can top Endgame because I physically got giddy, I got chills, and I cried on the second time watching it and the first time,
Mhm.
which doesn't happen. I don't.
Yeah.
I never cry at movies. Like it can be the saddest thing in the world, and it just doesn't.
So out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9.2.
Okay, Asian Audio Man out of 10.
Joker, I give 10 out of 10, but I just want to say it's my second favorite movie, and my first is Her, which also stars Joaquin Phoenix.
Dang.
Is he your favorite actor?
No, but he just appeared, like, it just happens
Yeah.
that my favorite two
For
movies
me,
are him.
For me, I'd probably say I think it was a 9.5 after I finished, but now I think it's a 10 out of 10 just because all these different things kind of have
Yeah.
culminated.
The score,
It's not my
cinematography.
favorite movie,
There's so much done,
but
Pat.
it's
Expert
such a good
acting.
movie. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up, guys. I've been your host, Luke Melby, and yeah. Oh, also, thanks again to Mr. Frank and the CTC program and for sponsoring this these episodes, and
Yeah,
thank
shout
you
out
to
Frank.
shout out to Isabella for making our logo, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.